A Russian missile fell in Poland. Again. At 3:40 in the morning, an unidentified flying object crossed from Ukraine into Polish airspace. 6 minutes later, it exploded in a field near Tarnawa-Kolonia in the Lublin region. It left a crater roughly 10 meters wide. No one was killed, no house was destroyed, no family was torn apart. Not because Poland stopped the missile, because the missile happened to hit a field. That is not a successful defense. That is luck. This is an emergency episode. I had planned to publish something completely different, but some events are too serious to postpone, and this is one of them. I may sound calm. I am not calm. I am angry. Not because I want panic, not because I want a war with Russia, and not because I have already decided what investigators have not yet proved. I am angry because Poland has received warning after warning under government after government, and we are still depending on empty fields to save Polish lives. Let us begin with what we actually know. During a massive Russian attack on Ukraine, Polish radar detected an object moving west inside our airspace. Fighter aircraft were directed towards it. Before the object could be conclusively identified and intercepted, it disappeared from radar. A probable impact site was then located near Tarnawa-Kolonia. The evidence found so far strongly indicates a Russian Kh-101 cruise missile. The investigation is still underway, so that conclusion should remain preliminary until the examination of the wreckage is complete. There is also no evidence at this moment that Poland was the intended target. The missile may have malfunctioned. Its navigation may have been disrupted by Ukrainian electronic warfare. Or Russia may have deliberately tested Polish detection and response. All three possibilities deserve investigation. None should be presented as fact before the evidence is available. But none of those possibilities makes this incident acceptable. If Russia launches long-range weapons near NATO territory, Russia bears responsibility for controlling them. A missile that loses its way does not become harmless. A warhead does not care whether its arrival was planned, accidental, or caused by interference. One technical correction is also essential. The Kh-101 carries a conventional warhead. Its closely related nuclear variant is designated Kh-102. There is no evidence that a nuclear weapon entered Poland tonight. We do not need nuclear exaggeration to understand the danger. A long-range cruise missile carrying hundreds of kilograms of conventional explosives is dangerous enough. And this was not the first warning. On the 15th of November 2022, a Ukrainian air defense missile fell in Przewodów and killed 2 Polish citizens. It was fired while Ukraine was defending itself from a massive Russian attack, and Russia bears responsibility for creating that deadly situation. But the missile was Ukrainian. Kyiv never publicly accepted responsibility in a way that closed the case, and the clear, formal apology many Poles expected never came. Around the same period, another Russian cruise missile traveled deep into Poland and was discovered near Bydgoszcz only months later. Then came further airspace violations, and in September of 2025, a large incursion by Russian drones. Some were destroyed, others were found only after they had already crossed our territory. Different incidents, different weapons. Every so often, Russian, once Ukrainian. But the same Polish question every time. What happens when the next one does not choose an empty field? This is not a party political question. Law and Justice had years to draw conclusions from Przewodów and the missile found near Bydgoszcz. The current governing coalition had its warnings and it's time to adapt. Both camps can list contracts, meetings, committees, and procurement programs. Both can blame the other. I am interested in a simpler measurement. Did the system protect Polish territory tonight? It detected the threat. It mobilized aircraft. It monitored the situation. But the missile still exploded in Poland. That does not mean the pilots failed. Polish crews were in the air. They followed orders and operated in extremely difficult conditions, at night against a low-flying subsonic target. Firefighters, police officers, soldiers, and prosecutors also responded quickly after the impact. My criticism is not directed at the people carrying out the procedures. It is directed at the people who write the procedures, fund the system, command the institutions, and then tell us that everything worked because nobody died. Military experts have explained the operational problem. In peacetime, ground-based air defense cannot simply fire at every unidentified radar contact. A lost civilian aircraft or a small private plane may fail to communicate. Positive identification matters. A fighter also needs time to reach a low-flying cruise missile moving hundreds of kilometers per hour. Those are real constraints. But the procedure was followed is not the end of the discussion. If the procedure repeatedly allows dangerous weapons to reach Polish soil, the procedure is inadequate. Commanders said the fighter reached the area as the missile struck the ground, and that it would have been engaged had it continued flying. But every missile continues flying until it hits something. Tonight, that something was a field. It could have been a house, a school, a fuel depot, a factory, a train. Calling the location uninhabited after the explosion is hindsight, not defense. And then there is the warning system. Sirens sounded across parts of the Lublin region at around 3:50 in the morning. Many people woke whether this was a test, a fire service call, or an actual air raid. No geographically targeted RCB message arrived. Residents followed the official advice and turned on local radio, only to hear ordinary programming and music. An alarm that citizens cannot understand is not an effective alarm. A siren without an instruction produces fear, confusion, and wasted time. This is not 1939. A modern state can send a location-based emergency alert to every compatible telephone within seconds. It can override silent mode with a distinctive sound. It can say whether the threat is a drone, a missile, a chemical release, or a flood. It can tell people whether to move to a basement, stay away from windows, or evacuate. Poland recently tested parts of its warning system, yet when a real missile entered the country, the public information chain remained fragmented. That must change before the next alarm. I have said before that Poland must become a second Israel. Let me explain exactly what I mean. I do not mean copying every Israeli policy. Poland has different geography, different neighbors, and different international obligations. I am not calling for permanent war or uncontrolled retaliation. I mean adopting the Israeli assumption that national survival cannot rest on optimistic forecasts. It means layered air defense, rather than one prestigious system expected to do everything. It means radar, airborne warning, fighters, medium-range interceptors, short-range interceptors, electronic warfare, and inexpensive anti-drone weapons connected to one command network. It means clear rules allowing commanders to act in minutes, not after political leaders finish calling one another. It means shelters that actually exist, emergency plans that local authorities have practiced, and citizens who understand an alarm without searching social media at 4 a.m. It means treating every real incident as a test, from which deadlines, names, and corrective decisions must follow. Poland is spending enormous sums on defense. Programs such as Wisła, Narew, Pilica Plus, and new anti-drone capabilities matter. They should continue and accelerate. But a contract is not an interceptor. A future delivery is not protection tonight. A percentage of gross domestic product cannot shoot down a cruise missile. Readiness is measured at 3:40 in the morning, not during a press conference at noon. I also believe Poland must stop treating the national border as a magical line beyond which an approaching missile is somebody else's problem. The answer is not reckless unilateral shooting into any neighboring country. The answer is a formally agreed defensive interception zone over western Ukraine, created with Kyiv's consent and coordinated with NATO. During major Russian attacks, Polish and Allied systems should be able to engage missiles whose confirmed trajectory presents a direct danger to Polish or NATO territory before they cross the border. That protective belt should extend far enough to give crews time to identify, decide, and act, potentially up to 100 kilometers where geography, law, and operational safety permit. This would require shared radar data, strict identification rules, and careful separation from Ukrainian aircraft and air defense. It would not be a general no-fly zone over Ukraine. It would be a limited shield against objects threatening NATO territory. Radoslaw Sikorski has previously warned Moscow not to complain if an unauthorized missile or aircraft entering Poland is shot down. Fine. But deterrence is not a memorable sentence delivered to a Russian diplomat. Deterrence is a functioning chain of detection, identification, and destruction when the object actually appears. If our politicians want their warnings to be taken seriously, they must build the capabilities that make those warnings credible. So what should happen now? First, Poland should publish a factual after-action report when operational security allows. When the missile was first detected, what information came from Ukraine and NATO, who authorized each stage of the response, why identification was not completed earlier, and why the public was not warned properly. Second, Parliament and the government must update the peacetime rules for cruise missiles and unmanned systems. Commanders need clear authority to engage an object when its behavior, origin, speed, and trajectory leave no reasonable civilian explanation. Third, Eastern Poland requires denser, low-altitude radar coverage, mobile interception units, and permanent readiness during major attacks on western Ukraine. Aircraft patrolling hundreds of kilometers away cannot be the only immediate answer. Fourth, Poland needs a genuine cell broadcast warning system, automatic interruption of public radio and television, and simple voice alerts explaining the threat. The message must arrive in seconds, not after the crater has been found. Fifth, the state must identify, renovate, and clearly mark shelters and temporary places of refuge. Schools, hospitals, stations, and workplaces require procedures people have actually practiced. Sixth, Warsaw should request concrete NATO reinforcement and place the incident before the North Atlantic Council. Solidarity statements are welcome, but they must produce additional sensors, aircraft, interceptors, and ammunition on the eastern flank. Seventh, every confirmed Russian violation should trigger a pre-agreed cost. Stronger Allied deployments in Poland, additional air defense support for Ukraine, and further pressure on the Russian military-industrial system responsible for producing these weapons. This is not a demand for war. It is a demand to prevent war through credible defense. To Russia, the message should be simple. Whether deliberate or reckless, a weapon entering Polish airspace will be destroyed. To Ukraine, the message should also be honest. Poland supports your right to defend your people against Russian aggression. But Polish sovereignty and Polish lives are not negotiable. If an accident involves Ukrainian weapons, full cooperation and responsibility are expected. And to the Polish government, this one and every government that follows, the message must be even clearer. Stop measuring success by the absence of funerals. Stop telling us that there was no direct threat because the missile happened to hit farmland. Stop confusing activity with effectiveness and announcements with readiness. Poland was lucky tonight. Luck is not air defense. Luck is not civil defense. Luck is not a national security doctrine. The next crater may not appear in a field. And if it appears in a neighborhood, no committee, no diplomatic summons, and no carefully worded statement will return the dead to their families. We do not need panic. We do not need empty bravado. We need a state that sees the threat, warns its citizens, and stops the weapon before it lands. Anything less is not preparedness. It is gambling with Polish lives.